Bitcoin is absolutely pumping, and we're going to talk about the new all-time highs. But in this video, we're going to digest the former CEO of BitMEX, Arthur Hayes, as he reveals a Bitcoin and Ethereum price prediction. We're going to break that all down for you guys in this video. Also, we're going to talk about kind of investors as a whole. All right. And we're going to look into the bets in the millions on the Bitcoin price following this record high that we have seen today. We'll break it all down for you guys in this video. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. We do talk cryptocurrency each and every single day right here. And let's get down into it. Okay. Obviously now, please remember, none of this is financial advice. Always be sure to do what's best for you in your financial journey. Make sure you do your own research and all of your due diligence, and let's get down into this discussion. Okay. And first and foremost, let's look at the charts. So you can see Bitcoin absolutely pumping. We look at it right now, 108 on the day. This is where we did sniff almost 110,000. And depending on where you look at it, you might have seen a little bit at that level. But it is something where it's been very impressive just looking at the daily chart, and even overall, okay, the week for Bitcoin, 4.4% up. That's been a significant upward move, going from 101 as a low all the way up to 109. And there's been a lot of technicals that kind of debunk this move that Bitcoin's having. A lot of people are looking at some indicators that do reveal and show that Bitcoin should not be at this level. And that's kind of going to be hearsay, because here we are. And guys, if you are looking to buy some more Bitcoin or trade crypto, check out my link down below for BTCC. That is my trusted exchange, 14 plus years in the industry, where you can find spot and leverage trading available to most clients. And if you use my link, you do get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit of deposits over 500 USDT. Also, you get 40% off lower trading fees. Okay, so check that out. No KYC VPN necessary, up to 500x leverage with a lot of crypto futures. So give them a look. A lot of people aren't reluctant to switch exchanges, but if you want to start trading on BTCC, make sure it's right for you. Do your due diligence and start trading today. Link is down below. Okay, so let's get back into this discussion. And as we look at Arthur Hayes revealing his price predictions, talking about kind of where he looks into the fund, the Maelstrom fund, largely backed by these two major cryptos. And you can see right now 60% allocated to Bitcoin, 20% to ETH. And that's something where you look into how this all kind of plays out. But within this, guys, all right, he says from now on, Bitcoin will rally towards 150 and 200,000 by summer, but then we'll have a bad sharp correction. And I think we hit 250,000 in Bitcoin by the end of the year. Okay, so that's where he looks for a sharp correction. We'll kind of talk about that even more so. But what he expects for Ethereum, okay, and that's where he states the critical level is $5,000, stating that it should be exceeded by the end of the year. And that would be a significant milestone for ETH and would propel a lot of meme coins as well as Ethereum even higher, possibly $10,000 to $20,000 at its cycle peak. And that's kind of where you can see this right here from this quote coming out from Arthur Hayes. So leave me a comment down below. Do you agree with Hayes and his price predictions for Ethereum and Bitcoin? I want to know down below in the comments. All right, but we're going to lead this one up into the bets of the millions on Bitcoin's price following the record highs that we have seen today. All right, this is where we've seen a lot of the prediction markets wagering millions of dollars. All right, they're not necessarily buying Bitcoin, but they're betting on Bitcoin doing some damage. Okay, and that's where you see a contract with $19 million in trading volume at Polymarket that Bitcoin will have a 93% chance of hitting $110,000 by the end of May, while the odds it climbs to 115K or even 125K is at 49% and 8% respectively. So that's where it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that 110 is in the books by May. If you do agree with Polymarket, obviously this is very subjective. It's just it's a betting market similar to what we can do in sports. Polymarket gives you that opportunity. It's nothing to be confused with a crystal ball. It's not an indicator. It's just kind of a way to use the betting market where you can see people want to put their money to kind of gauge their interests. And those users on Polymarket are very confident as they want to see 110,000 for Bitcoin. All right. Also, you can kind of talk about Kalshi. That is another one similar to Polymarket. There was $3.5 million into a contract on the token year's end price, showing that Bitcoin has more than a 70% chance of hitting 125K by the end of 2025, and the odds of rising above 150 or 160K, however, were much slimmer, 37 and 31% respectively. I'll take it. That's pretty good odds for me if you do believe in that and you do find that to be somewhat of a true indicator. All right. However, this is something where we look into more and more of these markets and where you could bet on the prices. This is something where they look at Bitcoin rising above 115K by May 25th. And this is something where you can see a 21.4% chance that that will happen according to Myriad. Okay. So that's kind of what we have going on that front. Now, one thing coming for us, guys, we have had Jerome Powell. There's going to be huge talks with interest rates. Another thing to play into the equation is going to be the Bitcoin price action as we smashed a record. This is something where you look into kind of the official Trump token dinner. All right, this is Thursday. There's going to be over 200 Trump holders live who spent, roughly about $53,000 to $16.4 million for those seats by holding Trump. But this is where they won their invitations and their seat at the table in a token hodling contest by the creators of the president's meme coin. You can see kind of Justin Sun, who calls himself the biggest Trump token holder, and a lot of bigger investors from foreign entities such as Australia and Singapore will be in attendance as well. But I don't really think this is what the topic of this discussion was, but that was to allude to the fact we might see some fireworks Thursday. Okay, if you do get all those people in the same room, crazy things can happen. Okay, but I do think that I agree potentially within what we saw from the first price prediction thing out there. When we talk about kind of the poly market looking at 115 to 125,000, I think we have a very, very good shot at 115. Now, to do that, if we want to look at kind of what we're seeing here on the charts, I am going to pull up this in terms of BTC, and this is going to be something where I do pull up the historical chart here, and you can see this rampage that Bitcoin has been on dating back all the way to the later part of April. Okay, but this is relevant. Okay, and the reason why is if you look at kind of how this works in cycles, we're mirroring exactly what we've done dating back, going back as far as, and my trading indicator is kind of clouding this, so I'm going to take that off for a second. Okay, but that's kind of where we look at it. And it is essentially mirroring what we've seen on the yearly. If you want to go back even back in time, we're going to look back at kind of what we saw back here in 2021. Very similar chart. It almost, you can stack it up against itself. And then we saw this back, the same kind of move that we made back in 2021. We're doing this again in 2024, the later part all the way up to 2025. So kind of eerie. We'll see what happens though. But if we do kind of continue this stretch, I think this could be very fruitful for Bitcoin as we date back to the spring, summer of what we saw back in 2023. I mean, look at the ascension that Bitcoin has been on since this low point. I mean, look at if we want to measure it out, I mean, this is almost a 6x that Bitcoin has done dating back all the way to the end of the bear market back in 2022, 2023 from the previous cycle. So I'll leave you guys with that. Appreciate you all tuning in for a couple minutes of your time. I wanted to share with you guys the betting markets, if you will, as well as kind of Arthur Hayes' comments on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and if you are a holder of meme coins or any other ERC20 tokens out there, Ethereum trading at 2,500. If we do get a rise to where Arthur Hayes is calling it for, I do expect that we do get a very significant meme coin, altcoin run in the time being leading up to kind of potentially maybe the biggest year that we've had since 2021, 2020. So appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you do want to start trading on BTCC, that link is down below in the description. And with that, I'll leave you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.